And hello, good evening, and welcome back to Minions of the Zoo. It says we are live, but I don't see a timer. I'm just going to go ahead and assume we're live. So, there it is. Hey, everyone, welcome back to Minions of the Zoo. It's another Monday night, and unfortunately, Inquisitor is not going to be able to make it, so I'm filling in for you. Apologies in advance. But to make up for it, I brought along some great people, starting with Camel.
I'm sorry, what?
And Terry.
Hey, everyone.
And then I brought Johnny as well.
I'm not going to jinx it.
Too late. You're a black cat. You're living jinx.
So when do the great people get here? I'd like to meet them.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, you know, I called, but they canceled, so I got you guys instead.
B team, yeah.
D team.
Hey, that's a better boob size than a B, so I'll take it.
True. All right, how you guys doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm good.
Tired. Just bitching about family. Yeah. So typical Monday.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Johnny?
we're kept me an hour late, so I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, and I'm gonna add this to the stream, guys. Let me know if you can hear this, okay? Can you hear that?
Nope.
I can.
Terry can't?
I cannot.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that too loud at all, or?
Nope.
I mean, talk over it.
I am. That's how I'm asking the questions. I don't understand why you think I'm not.
Assassin in chat is saying audio up, so I'm guessing he wants it louder.
Yeah, I think that was right after I asked it too, so I'm going to give it a bit of time just in case.
Okay, sure.
Because there is a fair bit of delay with StreamYard.
Oh, of course, right.
So I'll get about another 15 seconds from now, and if no one says it's anything differently, I'll give it up. I'll put it up a little bit more.
How accurate to the movies is this game? Are we gonna get some tree rate?
Oh, this has nothing. I mean, the trees do move and attack you, but it's just a whip. Like they just whip their branches at you. That's it. It's a trap. It's a trap that gets set. It's like that one game. I forget what it is. Is it Dead for Daylight or no, not Dead for Daylight. We're like. It's like that Friday the 13th game where you're Michael Myers and you're trying to kill the
Dead by
campers.
Daylight?
Yeah, Dead by Daylight. It's like that game, but based on the Evil Dead theme. Like, you can either be one of these guys here, one of the 3 versions of Ash, or other side characters that have been in. Even right at the bottom there is his sister.
I mean, you've got to pick one of the Ash variants, sure.
Oh, of course. I went with Army of Darkness for the tutorials. For the 2 tutorial. Well, no, sorry, for this tutorial, and then I did another tutorial after this where I played as one of the Deadite classes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, playing as a Deadite is weird because the movement is so. It takes some getting used to.
The wretched soul responsible for awakening a Kandarian demon.
Now, to be fair, I should probably also go ahead and adjust my trigger sensitivities next time I play it, because that might be what's causing me a little bit of like it doesn't feel quite right to me, so I might have to adjust that.
Okay.
But it's still pretty good to play with and still fun.
Yeah.
Once I got out of the tutorials and started playing some other stuff, I wasn't really doing too well because I didn't have much.
Never disappoint.
But you'll see that when we get to it, and I'll explain more later if we need to.
Klaatu, Varata.
I called dibs on Ash. Fair enough. Like I said, there's at least 3 versions to play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you say there's 3 of them? So there's plenty to go around.
It's funny too when I was playing one of the AI matches where I'm with an AI team versus AI Deadites. The second round I played that wasn't in this video. Two members were two different variants of Ash. It was just random draw of who's going to be on my team. I was like, and I just noticed it in the game. Like, wow. All right, then let's go.
I know Groovy is a reference to the Evil Dead, but in my head, I can only ever hear Earthworm Jim saying it.
Fair enough.
Which is funny because that's where he got it from.
Yep.
Which way? Who got it from whom?
I thought it was Earthworm Jim that referenced it from Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. It could be, but
That's unspecified rumor. Keep in mind.
at the end of every level, Jim would go Groovy, Groovy, and then like every time you hit the button.
And if you picked a different button, it did it at a different speed. I think.
Now, I've only played like Ash and I played a couple of matches as Kelly. You'll see one in later on in the clip here, but so far it seems like the sound bites that I hear in game, if they're not related to the gameplay itself, like what you need to do or the tutorial instructions and stuff like that, it sounds like it's just all clipped from like the TV series and movies so far.
Cool.
So you hear certain lines from like Army of Darkness or Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Is there any gameplay difference between the characters, or is it just cosmetics?
There's stat differences and weapon proficiency, and certain ones have masteries over different weapons and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Like Kelly, she has she's got like some sort of hammer is her specialty.
Does it weigh 1 ton?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't think she's quite worthy of that kind of hammer. I mean, I'd let her have a 1-ton hammer, but if you know what I'm saying. But
well, Jim's the clock.
Yeah, and yeah, obviously Ash has probably got like the chainsaw as his melee weapon specialty.
You would assume so,
right? Like, and the double barrel shotgun. It would, if he has a weapons, like a ranged weapons proficiency, that would be it or something like that. It's like you can use like handguns and shotguns and rifles and stuff, but you can only use one of each, whether it's a melee weapon or a ranged weapon. You have to switch them out if you want a different one, or as you find them and stuff like that. So. And
can you visit the S-Mart?
I don't know yet because I haven't gotten a chance to pick my map yet. But you can actually go to like certain stores and stuff like that, and I can't remember if all of them are in the movies and shows and stuff like that. But I know like the bridge and stuff like there's certain spots that I do remember from like the movies and stuff that I've seen in this area so far. So
gotta remember, shop smart, shop
S-Smart.
That's the only reason I know.
You got that. Fucking A with the timing, bro.
That's the only reason I know the name of the store is because I remember that slogan.
But obviously, I'm having me a revolver here. Yeah, and I'm using. I think it was this hammer that I'm using in the tutorial that was Kelly's specialty.
Right. Here we go. Just point me at the bad guys.
Also,
with the lights on.
The health restoring item in this game is a Schlepp's beer can.
See, if I ever got this game and I was playing online, I would make my username Shut Finley.
And like, and one of the other maps I was playing on earlier, I noticed that the Brewhouse camp was on the map too. So from the Evil Dead series, that's Pablo's uncle.
I would only ever talk in Sam Axe quotes.
Yes, as you should. Yeah.
I've only
This isn't
seen the
just
Evil
light,
Dead movies
it's
once.
illumination conjured by.
Oh, Sam Axe is one of Bruce Campbell's characters from a different show. It's called Burn Notice.
Okay.
And Chuck Finley was Sam Axe's alias whenever he was going undercover.
Ah.
So basically, the point of the survivor's role in this game is they're supposed to collect the 3 pieces of the map that will lead them to the pages of the Necronomicon, as well as the Kandarian dagger. And they need to survive long enough to not only get both of those, but once they get both of those, use them to defeat the boss, protecting the Necronomicon, and then kill any. And once they've done that, they're gonna kill any demons showing up to destroy the Necronomicon during a certain time frame, so that they can win the game.
Oof.
And in a normal game, while they're doing that, there's a demon trying to sabotage and kill them all before they do that, of course.
So it sounds very much like that Dead by Daylight game.
Exactly. That was the only way I could describe it accurately and not risk butchering it. Hopefully I didn't do too bad, but yeah.
No, I mean, I haven't played Dead by Daylight, but from what I've heard of it, it sounds very similar to what you described.
Yeah, I've seen it played. I've just never played it myself, kind of thing. Hey, Cannibal, how you doing, bud?
Of course, Monkey's about to go live.
Yeah,
Well, he said he would later, and it wasn't at 8 o'clock, so it was bound to. I knew it was bound to happen during the show, and that's fine. They'll probably start in the next 20 minutes, give or take.
Move.
It's, I do like the thing that's scrolling along the bottom of the screen. It's not going to like itself.
Thank you. I knew you would at least get a kick on that. I thought it would be fun. As soon as I seen Monkey go live after this happened in the title of the stream, like it came in my head. I was like, that's a missed opportunity for Monkey. That would have been fucking hilarious as a stream title. Yeah. And then he did a follow-up stream like last night, I think it was. I didn't get to watch either of them because I was out of town and stuff like that, but I seen the notifications and stuff. And
now, how'd you get the banner to scroll?
Oh,
is that something that they do in there, or is that a Delahazed thing?
No, it's something they do there. This is strictly 100% run through StreamYard right now. Otherwise, the logo would be cover up. But yeah, it's if you go over to the tab there, right underneath comments should be banners, and then just click show, and it also gives you, like, when you're editing it, it gives you a button down underneath the text that says ticker. If you just click on that, it'll scroll it for you. Yeah.
The final piece has been collected, making the map whole again and revealing the whereabouts of the Kandarian dagger and the lost pages of the Necronomicon.
Yeah, so collecting them is just going to their location and then standing in a certain area of the item and fighting off any deadites that come your way while you collect it, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
So have you guys seen all this stuff on Twitter about the Washington Post reporters fighting with each other on Twitter?
I may have seen something.
Pieces.
Yeah, I may have seen a piece or two, but I don't really care too much.
It's all making sense to me now because somebody tweeted out, it's like, oh, this is about revenge. That the woman that kicked this whole thing off, she was suspended from the Washington Post for a tweet that she made.
Okay.
And apparently she had a discrimination lawsuit against the Washington Post that got thrown out earlier this year.
Was the joke something like all women are bi? It's just polar or sexual? Okay,
yeah. A retweet.
Oh yeah, that's right. It wasn't even his joke. He just thought it was funny and retweeted it.
You know, it's funny. I was having a conversation with my grandfather this weekend, and he was talking about someone, and he was trying to describe this condition that they had, and he couldn't remember for the life of him. He described it, and I knew right away what it was. It actually happened to be bipolar disorder, and I just couldn't help but try to hold back the laugh as I remembered that tweet when I told him what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, the timing couldn't be fucking more perfect, but I can't just say it, otherwise I have to explain why I'm laughing.
Ah, tastes like home. Well, it's sort of overkill, but I gotta tell you, I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much going on the Twitters today. Haven't been scrolling all that much.
No, I've been on the bus most of the day, so I've just been watching YouTube videos I missed.
But yeah, I mean, this has been going on for days now, so I have caught bits and pieces of it. It's like, oh, okay.
You have activated the Kandarian
she's
dagger.
salty because
all manner of evil spirits will sense their imminent doom and attack accordingly.
Is that the gal that said something completely, totally fucking retarded?
Which one?
Obtain the Kandarian dagger, a legendary artifact with power to burn.
There's a lot of them out
A
there.
semi-automatic is still considered automatic.
I mean,
You now possess
I
the lost
don't know if
pages
that was
and
that
Kandarian
particular
dagger.
person or
You
not.
must face the
And then she came back and she's like, "Oh, no one can talk." It's a big batch of stupid.
I did see earlier today that Matthew McConaughey's got a statement about guns in America. It's like, who gives a fuck what Wooderson thinks? All right.
Yeah. Now, another, going back to when Terry asked if it was just cosmetic for the different characters, another key difference is this upgrade menu that you have for your characters. There's some of them have different stats. They all generally have most of the same things, but sometimes they have different ones, or like less or more kind of thing. And they all have different amount of levels you can upgrade them for each thing. Like some of them will have less than this or more than this for each one.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Assassin says, stupid people should be forbidden from speaking. Enough said.
True.
Do you want us to end the stream now, dude?
What? Oh.
Why are you doing this to me?
Wow, that's harsh.
I've been trying to avoid both Twitter and YouTube.
Not
because,
inaccurate.
I've got to get through Yakuza 4. It's I'm really close to finishing it, and it's like no YouTube and Twitter. This is stopping me from finishing this damn game.
Now, another feature of this game is the fear element. If your character spends too much time in the dark, even with a flashlight on, because your flashlight battery drains if it's on too long and it doesn't recharge if it's off. So if you spend too much time out of the light, be it a fire or a street light, or too much time away from your friends, you won't be able to prevent your health bar from going up. And if it goes up too much, your heartbeat goes up and you're more susceptible to demons summoning themselves around you and stuff like that and attacking.
Okay.
And I think you can even get a heart attack potentially. I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm guessing by the... Probably not, but it could be a possibility. I haven't yet explored. That'd be cool if you couldn't, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it didn't happen.
It might be a bit anticlimactic if you're just running along and it's just game over. You had a heart attack.
Because like
I had a stroke.
It's just like the heartbeat keeps getting more erratic as you get more scared, kind of thing. So it's like, oh, am I gonna get a heart attack? Especially with Ash being so old and broken.
All right, you primitive screwhead.
So yeah, this right here is the boss fight. Basically, you just gotta survive their timed attacks and wait for the prompt to hold Y button or hold the button that's labeled there, be a keyboard or controller, for the Kandarian dagger to attack them. And then you also got to defend yourself from oncoming deadites.
I would not want to play this on a keyboard. I would think a controller would be where I'd be playing.
Yeah. He had a heart stroke.
Yeah.
And missed out on what Ashley Williams has to say. Fair enough. Good call, Assassin. Also, hey, Costin, I saw you earlier, didn't say hi, so I moved that.
It does
Sorry, what
bug
was
me a
that?
little bit that his
The
name
boat will now
is
commence
Ashley.
closing the breach unless it is destroyed by the demon. Protect it.
One shot, one kill, baby. And there you go.
Victory!
Recording.
Yay!
No.
So easy when there's no enemies.
Yeah.
And they just keep going through all these this dude's tweets and whatnot.
And as you see here, there's 3 different classes of Deadites you can choose from when you play as the demons. The warlords. I'd read that, but it's too small for me, and I'm too lazy. The puppeteers and the necromancers. I've played as the puppeteers so far, and in this one, I'm gonna play as the necromancer. I haven't really played as the warlord just because I don't want to be that fat whore showing off her titties right there. The lumberjack seems pretty cool, but the degen in the back is questionable.
So the lumberjack is okay.
Yeah,
obviously.
he's clearly Canadian. Look at him.
Mhm.
Big burly fucking flannel.
I could see you rocking a mohawk, Della.
I actually have. I do enjoy having a mohawk once. Oh, I did enjoy having a mohawk once in a while, growing up and stuff like that. But now I'm just more practical. So difficult it's so much effort to get it even and stuff like that. I just don't want to bother.
Hey, isn't that Evil Ash right there?
Yeah,
It is Evil Ash.
that is exactly what it is. And there's I was reading through it. There's some sort of specialties there about Evil Ash, the bonuses and stuff like that. I don't remember what they are, and like I said, too small and too lazy to read them. But
Increases the bonus damage and defense that the. Never mind then.
hold on,
Mhm.
hold on.
Where are my spectacles?
There you go.
Increases the bonus damage and defense that the flautist provides to the nearby evil units. The flautist cannot move or be possessed. Evil Ash skills, skeletal support. Evil Ash summons skeletons to help fight. Skeleton resurrection. Every skeleton who dies within the auras effect area comes back to life.
Yeah.
And I can't read the last one because you're blocking it. So
Yeah, it's probably not too important. It's just like percentage infernal something. It does. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much.
Invigoration.
There you go. It just gives like 30% invigoration or something like that. I think it was, or some shit. The neck romancer. That's funny. Just be grateful you have some vision in both eyes there, Assassin.
no, he's bragging that he has good vision in both eyes.
All my vision's in one eye. It's good vision, but it's all in one.
I'm just wondering if Cannibalistic knows that neck is slang, or if
So
he was
this is what I
just.
was, yeah. So this is what I was talking about moving as a Deadite. It's kind of weird because you're just like you're not actually there. It's like what
First person.
Yeah, it's what the Deadites. It's what they show the Deadites' movement be in their spirit form in the movies and such. So it's a nice touch. Don't get me wrong. It just takes some getting used to. It's like the movement is much more sensitive in this mode than in as a survivor.
Yeah, I'm getting queasy. I'm gonna go back to scrolling Twitter.
And like I would go ahead and possess someone for the rest of the game, but my possessions don't last forever, unfortunately. So it's like I gotta use them wisely, kind of thing. Plus, this is a tutorial. I can't do it till I reach a certain point anyway. So these orbs, I need to absorb enough of them to fill my bar, and doing stuff like possession or using my trigger buttons down there, it costs that energy that I get from these crystals. So that's why I got to preserve and use it wisely, kind of thing.
Okay.
But I can possess fellow Deadites as a Deadite, and sometimes if their campers are at the right are in the right state, I can possess them too. Sometimes the survivors.
Okay.
I can also possess vehicles though too, so that's always fun.
That seems weird. Possessing, like.
Well, they've done it before in the show, and I think maybe the movies. I don't remember for sure though on that second part, where they've possessed a vehicle before. I don't think I could possess it while they're driving it, unfortunately, like they did in the TV show, but
That'd be funny.
that would be awesome. Just, oh, you guys are having a nice leisurely drive down the road. It'd be a shame if someone possessed a vehicle and turned into this tree over here. Wouldn't that just suck? Yeah, and I can also set traps and stuff like that, or open portals and set portal traps. Like, there's certain spots will have a button prompt if I look out for them, for me to go over and hold Y and set a trap, whether it's like a proximity portal for demons to come out of and attack them when they get near it, or say like a certain tree will, if someone comes close, it'll bend down and whip them with their branches to cause harm, like that one right there. There's also another trap where right there, these supply crates, I can booby trap them with either Ash's hand or mini Ashes, and they'll still get the loot when they open it, but before that, whoever opens it will either have like 3 mini Ashes, a cutscene with 3 mini Ashes doing a dance and then coming out and attacking them, causing damage, or a cutscene with like the hand coming out and causing them damage and flipping them off. But yeah, like I said, all that costs energy, which I have to replenish through these crystals and stuff like that.
Right.
The evil POV.
Yeah.
It is indeed an evil perspective, that's for sure, Assassin. Come to join us in the two-dimensional world there, Johnny?
Too much distraction, and I'm just gonna look like, what? Huh? What?
Fair enough.
I thought maybe Johnny's gonna test out the new PFP I sent him.
Oh. So, Camel, have you gotten a chance to see the new season of The Boys yet?
I have not. I'm debating whether or not I'm even going to bother watching it.
Oh?
I mean, I like Jensen Ackles, don't get me wrong. But those first 2 seasons... I mean, the first season was alright until we got to, like, the end.
Right.
And then season 2 is like...
Fair.
And...
Yeah.
I mean... I'm really wondering, it's like, is Jensen Ackles going to be enough to make it palatable?
I'm sure maybe his parts have a chance of being enjoyable. Oh, here I've summoned my true form, Evil Ash. And now I'm ready to destroy the Necronomicon so I can win. But yeah, that's basically how it is. I just gotta sabotage, as the Deadite, you just gotta sabotage the survivors, hopefully kill them, and make sure the Necronomicon gets destroyed before it can send all the demons back. So it's less that they gotta do, but it's still a lot trickier because you're by yourself against up to like 4 people. Because like I've played an online match and I chose to play as the Deadite for my first go, and I was trying to play as because like you can, it gives you the option to play solo as a survivor with an AI group versus an AI group, but it doesn't give you the option to play as a Deadite with that against a solo group or an AI group of survivors. So I was like, well, okay, I want to give it a try as a Deadite first, so I guess I might as well just go online. Yeah, they won obviously, but
I mean, this does look interesting. I wouldn't mind playing it, but I'd also want to play the Friday the 13th game. So,
I mean, I'd play it.
I remember watching. I remember watching the Gulf City guys playing that, and that looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would not play against strangers online. That's never going to happen.
I find that when I play against strangers online, they end up rage quitting at some point, or bad connection, something like that.
I did try playing Street Fighter against random strangers, but
I know now
I
that
didn't like
nothing
it.
can remedy the atrocity I've unleashed, but I believe I can stop it. Follow these instructions.
I did with Mortal Kombat Online. It
I
was
have hidden several
alright,
pieces of a map nearby.
but there were like
Reveal the location of the
people
lost
who
pages
took a
of the
win way too
Necronomicon
seriously, and I'm like,
Kandarian dagger.
I'm just gonna go.
Use it if I have to.
now my biggest
Have fun.
issue. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have fun masturbating to your win.
Now, my biggest issue with playing on a team of AI bots is they will fuck you over every time.
Yep.
They will quickly go grab every item that is available before you have a chance to find them. And they will just wander off wherever they fucking feel like. Unless, the only time they actually come to you consistently is if you go inside a vehicle. Then they will all stop what they're doing and go join you in the vehicle. Otherwise, it's random when they come fucking join you and how long they stay with you. And then if a demon shows up somewhere or is nearby to be activated, they seem to be programmed to sense it and just go running towards it to engage instead of staying where the fuck they are until I'm ready to go deal with it too.
Well, I mean, they can't have it too easy for you.
No, like heaven forbid I fucking stay under the light like the game tells me to so I can reduce my fear bar and then go fucking play the game. No, let's just go cause trouble that doesn't need to be caused. Like, give me 2 fucking minutes, I'll go engage the enemy.
I'll say this much, though. It probably is a decent simulation of playing with idiots online.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, the
Get used to it now.
MTV Movie Awards were Sunday.
And?
I just remember, like, as a kid, I used to actually watch that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't even know. I was scrolling Twitter. Apparently, Jack Black, Jennifer Lopez, and Sydney Sweeney were some of the top stars honored at the MTV 2022 Movie Awards.
Now, this would be the part where I asked who the fuck Sydney Sweeney is. But
No
honestly,
clue.
I just don't give a fuck.
I actually, I think the last time I remember watching the MTV movie was Jack Black was hosting it.
Okay.
I think that was around the time. Ooh, was that? Yeah, that's when like Spider-Man was just coming out. Because Jack Black made a masturbation joke about shooting webbing. His little Spider-Man skit.
I will give them one thing though for the AI bots. As long as it's a small enough crowd, like it's not too many of them at once, I honestly don't have to do anything when it comes to fighting off the Deadites. Unless I, like, if I want the experience, stuff like that, I have to fight to get a chance at them though. But if I want to be lazy, I actually can. So that's a potential bonus down the line.
Get 4 computers, play all 4 roles yourself. It's the only way.
True.
One controller in each hand, one in each foot. You'll be fine.
Look, I'm not monkey, man. What kind of feet you think I got?
Why people drink this by choice, I'll never know.
I guess I'll have to Google that because I don't trust that from a single source.
What's that?
Oh, somebody retweeted Jack Posobiec on my timeline. Breaking January 6th committee now considering banning electoral college. I bet even Terry and Della could guess why that's not possible, but
Guess the Constitution would have something to say about it.
Right?
there you go.
So, in looking up who Sydney Sweeney is, she's either a man or a thought. Or a man thought. Or both.
Okay, so you got Axios, truthout.org. Never heard of that one.
I guess Johnny missed the part where I said I just don't give a fuck.
Maybe he cares. Maybe that's
Okay.
what he's about.
Yeah, I just don't give
Moderately
a
interested.
This is MSN.
Oh,
Rep Raskin wants the January 6th committee to recommend abolishing electoral college.
I think you'll find that they want the electoral college back as soon as it becomes convenient for them to have it.
Well, a lot of the states, and I say a lot, probably like, I don't know, a dozen or so, have signed on to this interstate compact that they give their electoral votes to the candidate that wins the popular vote.
That's that's going to be dissolved as soon as the Republican gets the popular vote, though.
I think it would be hilarious if they actually did manage to get enough states together to get the 270 electoral votes needed. And then 2024 rolls around and like Trump actually manages to win the popular vote this time.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious to see the backpedaling.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They're only going to do this if it helps the Democrats. They're not going to be sticking to their guns and saying, well, unfortunately, a Republican got popular votes, so we have no choice but to fulfill our promise.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that shit for the 8 years of Obama about how, oh, we need to get rid of electoral college.
Nope. I still think you should get rid of California. Just make it not part of the United States anymore.
Well, there was that one proposal to split California up into like 4 or 5 different states.
I think it should be 0 states.
Well, I mean, that would add more senators. It would add, and also like California wouldn't be that one big block that it is right now. Because you have like the Central Valley, you've got Northern California, fairly red. San Diego, you got a whole bunch of like sailors and Marines stationed down there.
When you say red, you mean lots of Indians?
Unfortunately, no.
Not that color, not that shade of red.
Well, I mean, I think California is the only state that has more like Indian casinos than Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So they got plenty of Indians, but not enough to hold any electoral sway, really.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've heard, Indians, there's like a minuscule percent of the population. It's
Roughly
like,
1% of the U.S. population.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't got anything to say about that, really. Yeah.
You now hold the first piece of my map. A small but strong step forward.
I think you're gonna need to buy a bucket of red paint and sneak into a maternity ward. Try and pump those numbers up.
I thought about,
Don't know why this makes me
being
feel
fruitful
better,
and multiplying, and
but it
I just
does.
decided that wasn't for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe that's why you guys are only 1%.
No, I'm pretty sure it's because I don't want to pay child support.
Just become a deadbeat, Tony. Very popular, I think.
Yeah, they put you in jail for that these days.
Also true.
And also, I mean, if I really wanted to, pump up the numbers, I'd have to be, impregnating Indian women.
True.
Alright, so this is the part in this game where I get lost.
It's a nice car.
Oh yeah, I chose a nice car to get lost in. That's a good bonus of this moment. But yeah, I have at this point in the game, I have no idea how to bring up the map aside from what's in the top left there,
Right.
and see where the hell I'm going. In the top right, you'll notice it tells me where I'm supposed to go to get the piece of the map, even though part of it's hidden behind the logo for StreamYard.
Yeah.
It's telling me I got to go to the Wadesboro's junkyard. I have no idea where the fuck that is. So right now, I'm taking a guess of a direction and going.
Come into the light, you
Only stopping
bastard.
to lower my fear bar right now.
I mean,
But
it's as good a system as any. If you can't find the map, then pick a direction and go that way. It's about your best bet.
yeah, but what I do later on is something I should have done at this very moment. Especially right here, where I'm doing absolutely nothing but standing still while my fear bar goes down. And I
Try all the
fucking
buttons.
yes, because I keep going to dead ends and stuff like that, like end of the map and stuff like that. It's like, okay, so fucking which buttons have I not had to use yet so far in this game? Start button? No, that's not the right one.
Oh. Do I want to click on this guy's...
No, you don't.
Tulsa man rides bike into 8-foot construction hole.
Ooh.
I was very lucky to get out with only a couple of scratches.
He didn't do it on purpose?
Apparently not.
Now, wait. I should have asked before I should have asked this before I asked that. Was it 8 foot wide or 8 foot deep?
Good point.
Let's see.
Because if it was 8 foot wide, did he want to get out? If it was 8 foot deep, okay, how wide was it? Maybe it's reasonable he didn't notice it. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I think it takes me till about 8 minutes and some odd seconds before I try all the buttons and figure out where to go, kind of thing. So this goes on for a bit.
I mean,
I'm used to
There's
the
a-
select button being the map. That's usually
That was
where
the
they-
second one I tried.
There's a picture here, but it
was.
doesn't show you the whole hole.
Right.
And this guy apparently he was riding his bike at 9 p.m. on Saturday night. Dude's got an Asian last name, so apparently you can't even trust them with you know.
Well, I mean, I guess I can understand why he didn't see it very well. I mean, hard to see anything when your eyes are mostly closed. That'd be cryptic.
He said the cones surrounding the hole were knocked over, but they were still surrounding the hole, weren't they?
But so you saw them.
But they were knocked down, so it's like, okay, they don't count.
So the hole just has a magic barrier that you can ride over. If the cones are knocked down, is that how that works, bud?
I think so.
Are the cones suddenly Gandalf and then they're knocked down and they don't have any power?
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Fuck's sakes, bud.
I'm guessing it must be like 8 foot deep, because apparently there is a private contractor is excavating the area for a water line to connect to the city water line, and they have to determine the diameter of the city pipe. So my guess is it's like 8 foot deep and probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet around.
Okay, but still 4 or 5, even 3 feet. That's 3 feet wide. That's got to be like fairly noticeable, as long as you're paying attention. Oh, maybe most of the half the time, even if you're not paying attention, I'm sure that's probably noticeable.
Oh, that's what you get for riding a bike, you nerd.
True. Very true.
Nerd.
And the car's kaput.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in good shape.
I mean, it's not quite GTA level of bad, but it won't work no more, that's for sure. Oh, here's where okay, it wasn't that long
Hey, you
before.
found the map.
Yeah, like I said, it was the second one I tried, which was the select button. And just as I feared, it was the opposite direction of where I started from, that I was supposed to go. Go
Oops.
figure, every time. But yeah, this
Oh,
area
there's
is
the
where...
50-50 shot.
Yeah, well... There was three different directions, but I didn't know at the time, so yeah, 50-50. But it did cost me a lot of time, and as you can see, there's only a limited amount of time there for me to complete the mission, so...
Yeah.
I ended up wasting a lot of time and didn't end up getting to finish this level, but I learned a lot, and that's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the first few times you play, you're basically learning. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter too much if you lose. It's making sure you don't make the same mistake next time.
Exactly. And I'm able to play the game. That was a win in and of itself.
Yeah.
Boom, headshot.
Hey, Johnny.
Yes.
I'm wondering if maybe you heard about this story, because I vaguely recall seeing something about it on Twitter a while back, but I haven't really heard anything else about it until now. Does the name Jupiter Paulson mean anything to you?
Stop shooting!
Not really.
Well, this is North Dakota. Apparently Jupiter Paulson was a 14-year-old white girl who was stabbed 25 times by a black dude.
Oh, wow.
And she died.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'd be surprised she survived, sadly. Like 25 stab wounds. That's
That's a
I mean,
lot.
50 Cent got shot 9 times. You know, it depends on where
Yeah,
he
but
got stabbed at.
I was just
right?
gonna say it depends on where she got stabbed. If he's fucking committed to 25 times, I'm sure he wasn't fucking.
He was trying to tickle her.
He wasn't
Yeah.
trying,
I'm sure
to,
he wasn't
trying to help
fucking
with her
spreading
love
it out.
handles.
I'm sure he wasn't trying to fucking spread it out anywhere. He was probably trying to keep it consistent in the same area. Jesus Christ.
What the hell's the daily rake?
Yeah,
What, huh?
The rake of the
Daily
day.
rake.
Good question. Why?
I don't know. I clicked on it because it happened to be there.
That's always
And-
a good mode.
It's anti-white conservatism.
What?
Oh yeah, apparently
Did you say-
the father who the victim's father's name is Robert Paulson.
Oh, okay.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Hmm.
Yeah, apparently he's teaming up with the what would they say? Where was it?
That's good. Keep moving. You're okay.
How did they?
Anytime now.
I'm trying to find where it was phrased in this thread.
I'm just saying.
Oh, teaming up with local pro-white activists to find justice for his 14-year-old daughter.
Wow.
I mean, I feel bad for the dude, but, you know, his daughter was murdered, and now she's pretty much a prop for racists on either side.
Yeah.
Yay!
What a legacy
I'm
she
helping.
left behind. I mean, that's one way to be remembered.
And I gotta wonder, like, what is the black population of North Dakota? It's like, was
It was
this
like
really
one
like a
guy.
hate crime, or was it like a lightning strike kind of thing?
I think the black population is like one guy, isn't it?
That may be the one dude, yeah. Apparently he's stabby, so...
Stabby was my least favorite move.
I don't know, man. He had a nice collection.
Dewey
Let's
was the
see.
best.
Okay, now I got a question for Terry.
Uh-oh.
This is Time Magazine tweeted, lettuce is now so expensive in Australia that KFC will be using cabbage in its burgers.
Ew.
Chest to fuck?
First of all, what the fuck is KFC doing making burgers in Australia?
Good question.
Well, chicken burgers. I mean,
No, those are chicken sandwiches.
Tomato, tomato.
well,
Apparently it's
they're
lettuce or cabbage now, Della.
quite clearly chicken burgers, but that's fine.
We're gonna have to disagree on this one.
Tomato, tomato. Move on.
Is this is like the whole like a common
Keeping Michigan
two
moist.
people separated by a common language?
Yeah. But no, cabbage on a chicken burger sounds horrible.
Cabbage on anything sounds horrible.
Cabbage is horrible.
Thank you.
Oh, Johnny, here you go. Kat graduates from UT Austin after attending every Zoom lecture with owner.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's hilarious.
The survivors have collected another portion of the map. An admirable effort, but there is still much to be done.
So, looking at the demographics of North Dakota, It is 85% white, according to this thing that I saw here. Best neighbor. Okay. 3.5% Hispanic, 2.7% black, 1.4% Asian, 5.1% Native American, and 2.3% other.
See, I don't know what this latest census was, but like the last one, I think Oklahoma was around 8%. 8% Native. Does North Dakota even have 1 million people?
I doubt it.
Like, I was trying to figure out like what would be a nice round number to figure out what 2.7% you said.
According to this, 774,008.
So 700,000. Okay, so there's a few thousand black people in North Dakota.
Just a few. Oh yeah, there's another feature that just popped up there. Certain characters can't use certain weapons, like Kelly can't use chainsaws.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Where are they suggesting this? I wonder. Oh, I remember the name Dylan Radigan. He used to be on MSNBC.
Okay.
This is from Twitchy. Blue Check suggests a $5,000 a gun buyback for 3 months, no questions asked. Like, I'm sure I've got some old pipes, and I could probably whittle down a tree branch or something into a stock. Go cash me in some homemade guns, guys.
As you can see, I am a masterfully skillful driver.
We noticed.
Oh, so apparently this is what Dylan Radigan suggested. 1. Ban all semi-automatic assault weapons. 2. Offer buyback $5,000 a gun for 3 months, no questions asked. 3. After 3 months, possession is a felony. Offer $5,000 for anyone who reports possession with no questions asked. 4. Background checks,
I think
mental
you
health
probably do
and
want to
license.
ask some questions though.
Well, I think no, actually. I think no questions asked should be perfectly fine. So long as he's willing for everyone to report Dylan Radigan as having possession of illegal weapons and, you know, cops knocking on his door every day.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't say they have to be an accurate reporting. So you could just say, yeah, that guy over there probably has a gun. Give me $5,000, please.
I have reason to believe that Dylan Radigan has a gun.
Yeah.
And Dylan's got a gun.
What made Dylan snap?
He really wanted to be a man.
Did he wake up to Amber's crap?
That sucks. Apparently the OSU softball team lost to Texas 6-5, so the women's softball college World Series will be the University of Oklahoma versus Texas. So it's going to be a Red River rivalry for the national title instead of the Bedlam rivalry.
I've noticed on Twitter, everybody seems to be super excited that Street Fighter 6 is coming out.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm skeptical. I mean, I like that there's going to be single player stuff. Because more fighting games need that, but I don't know. I'm still in let's wait and see mode. I'm not like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing ever. Like everyone tries to make it out to be.
Right.
So apparently a former Sony chief executive has died.
That happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happened.
I still can't get over this whole cabbage on chicken sandwiches. That's gross.
As Johnny said, cabbage is gross, period.
I don't know what I don't know what I can't get over more. The cabbage on a chicken sandwich, or Australians calling them chicken burgers.
Kick it up a notch.
Well, I mean, up in Canada, if they put it on a burger bun, then they'll call it a chicken burger too.
Yeah, because that's the right term for it.
Yeah. We've got chicken sandwiches, but we also got chicken burgers, that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, a sandwich is still, a burger is still a sandwich nonetheless, just different
It
name.
is. It's a specific kind of sandwich.
I think
It's a
if you
burger
have,
sandwich.
I think if the chicken's ground, you can, in all rights, can call it a chicken burger.
All right, but Johnny, hear me out now. We go to Australia, right? We go and visit Terry or Pete or Cynic or any of the other Aussies that, you know. And they say, hey, you guys want some burgers? And we're like, yeah. And they drive us to KFC.
Well, no. Burger without any...
I would expect that out of Cynic.
burger without any sort of prefix is obviously like beef. But if you say chicken burger, I think it's fairly clear what that is.
You know, the only worse thing than that there, Camel, is if they asked you that, and instead of taking you to KFC, they got the barbecue going and threw on a couple of soy burgers. That's how you lose friends real quick.
I think it'd be great if it's like, you want some burgers? And I say, sure. All right, pick your cow.
Now you're speaking my language. But yeah, soy burger. Somebody's getting buried in the bush.
Are unmistakable. Do not blame yourself. I am responsible for the fall of man.
Are you, though?
Well, it ain't me.
I would not like killing a cow for a burger because it would take way too long. I want my burger now.
Right? I'll take one that's already been killed.
Yeah.
And processed and such.
Ideally, the burger already made, so I don't have to do anything except eat it.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's basically the game there. The only other thing is there's a mission section with a few missions that unlock some special features. I've yet to complete any. You got to complete them in order before you can unlock the other ones. But I've tried the first one a couple times, and it's a little difficult. But I'm starting to understand where the mistakes I was making were coming from. So
cool.
Eventually, I'll get them done. But yeah, otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. It's probably not something I'd buy for myself, but I mean, if you streamed it, I'd watch.
Right.
How can something be trending with less than 2,000 tweets, honestly?
Well, because Twitter decides what trends and what doesn't.
Exactly. What, you thought this was public voting? This was set by a popularity contest? No, it's a Twitchularity contest.
There's a reason that What is a Woman and Matt Walsh were trending for like 20 minutes before Twitter's like, nah. Something else, please.
No, it's looking up. And I'm so sick of people saying like assault rifle. Let's ban assault rifles. Aren't they already banned in the majority of places?
Yeah, so it's going to be really easy to do what they want.
It depends. I mean, like machine guns for the most part are, and you can get one, but you've got to pass like insane background checks. Got to have like $20,000 or some ridiculous amount for the ATF license to be able to have one.
It's also got to be made before a certain year.
Yeah. I can't remember what year that was either.
Like
Where's
85 or
Assassin?
something like
Did he
that.
fuck off already? He get tired of
I think
the Evil
Chat's
Dead?
been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
you
it's
said,
like
Monkey went
85,
live.
something like that.
Yeah, they've got to be manufactured before a certain year, and yeah, it's just a pain in the ass all the way around. I mean, how many school shootings happened during the assault weapons ban?
0.
Yeah, see, there's Assassin.
Yeah.
Machine guns can be purchased if you have a Class 3 license with extensive background checks and everything registered. And
There
a
you
good
go.
chunk of change to go along with it.
Obviously.
But yeah, I mean, like the largest school shooting in America for a good while there was Virginia Tech, and that was a couple of pistols. All machine gun receivers must be pre-1986.
Oh, it's close.
I'm surprised it's that, and I thought it would have been like, earlier than that.
I thought
86.
it was 85, so I was close.
Yeah, you're closer than me. I mean, I never really paid that much attention to the whole machine gun thing either. It's like I'm never gonna be able to afford one of those bitches.
No, I mean, if I were to get a gun, which obviously I'm in Australia, so it's a lot harder for me. But if I were, I wouldn't want a machine gun anyway.
You need something with enough of a high enough caliber to take down them emus.
Well,
learn from your ancestors' mistakes.
I'd probably just avoid the emus rather than challenge them head on. So until we get an emu that can open the security door to my block of flats, I should be okay.
Man, have you ever seen Jurassic Park? Those bitches learn, dude. Raptors were opening doors and shit.
Yeah, raptors, not emus.
Raptors are the precursors to emus. You've already lost a war to them.
I'm pretty sure they're like Daleks and they just can't climb stairs. I'm counting on that.
I'm pretty sure one of these days you're gonna be sleeping and all of a sudden some 6 foot tall retarded chicken is gonna be scratching at your door trying to turn the knob. And they're gonna wish you had a gun then. Yeah.
I mean, if a human broke into my home, I'd wish I had a gun, but I don't think I'd be able to acquire one given the country that I live in.
Well, you could be safe with your finger guns, but you are
Oh, yeah.
at risk of putting yourself in jail.
Nah. If a 6-foot chicken shows up at Terry's door, you can just take it down to KFC and have him make him a burger.
Yeah, there you go.
Assassin says machine guns have only been used twice in crimes, both times by rogue cops, and both times with a Ruger AC 556 A-team rifle. Now, are you talking like the show, the A-team, or
That was my question.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit I'm a little behind on my my lore for the A-team show.
I mean, if his answer is that he pities the fool who doesn't know what he's talking about, then we can assume that it's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know BA didn't like to get on no plane. The rifle the A-team used was the Ruger AC 556.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that AC stands for air conditioning.
I mean, that's what it usually stands for.
Yeah. So, you just shoot the gun if it's a bit too hot. And you just want to cool down, you just fire the AC 556.
You know what I think's wild, since we're talking about guns and everything? By the FBI statistics, the North Hollywood shootout would not be considered a mass shooting.
Is it 4 victims is needed for a mass shooting?
Was it I think it's 4 dead?
4 dead by a single shooter.
Because I know in Australia it's 4 people shot. It doesn't matter if they die. There just has to be 4 people who are shot, and that's a mass shooting.
Oh man, it's America. People get shot every day. You got to kill them if you want it to count for a mass shooting.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, step your game up.
Right.
But no, there's a bunch of casualties. The only people that I think died, I don't even know. Did both the shooters die from the North Island shootout? Because like they had body armor, they had drum magazines. I think they were rocking AKs too. But yeah, like none of the people they shot, be cops, civilians, or anything like that, none of them died.
Well, that's good.
Oh, okay. So assassins, correct me. Apparently, it's just 4 people shot. I thought it was 4 killed. Because whenever I see people arguing about it online, it's always some different criteria.
Yeah.
It's 3 killed, 4 killed. You know.
It sounds like the US and Australia have the same standard then. 4 people shot, whether fatally or not.
I was mistaken then. Yeah, both bank robbers were killed. Because apparently, ski masks not very effective headgear when deflecting bullets.
Yeah, it's got to be a COVID mask.
Oh man, I'm getting
Nothing gets through a COVID mask. Trust me.
I'm getting so sick of it. Oh, they changed the standard all. Okay, so I'm okay. Gotcha. Okay, they keep shifting the goalposts. Because I remember it used to be like you had to have like 4 killed for it to be like considered a mass shooting.
Well, that was actually what happened in Australia, where because they wanted to make the claim that there were no mass shootings since Port Arthur, they did actually change the definition of the mass shooting so that certain incidents would no longer count. Because it used to be 4 shot, including the
shooter.
The shooter. So really, three victims, and they took out
and 1 dickhead. Yeah.
Then they changed it to 4, not counting the shooter, so that certain incidents like, not a mass shooting anymore. Under the rug that goes.
I mean, it's like Monkey was saying the other night about the school shooting statistics that they use for the different activist groups.
Mm-hmm.
You've had school shootings where it was the middle of the fucking night and there was no students involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a security guard shoots himself. School shooting. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Not only that, I mean, from what I hear, it doesn't even have to be like you could shoot into the air. You're on a school shooting.
Well, no, there was one. It was like because I went through that thread that Monkey was talking about, and there was one where a bullet that was fired from somewhere else hit the side of the school on like a Sunday.
That counts.
Yeah, school shooting. It's like, yeah, a school got shot.
But it's very deliberate because they know school shooting has a certain connotation. And so if they count things like a suicide, that is technically, by the letter of the wording, a school shooting. But that's not what people think of when they hear it.
I gotta wonder too, like with the whole, school. Like Johnny, I don't know about Terry and Della because foreigners, but Johnny, you're a few years older than me. Did you ever have school shooting drills?
No.
There was no active shooter drills when you were in school. I don't remember there being an active shooter drill when I was in school either. We had tornado drills.
We had guns at our schools.
Yeah, because you live in like grizzly country and whatnot.
I think the only thing we had was fire drills. I don't think there was any active shooter or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, it was funny because at the school I grew up going to first, it was back when the Ninja Turtles were gaining popularity. And so I made for my friends who were the more popular kids, I made replicas of just the weapons.
So you're a criminal, was what you said.
No, I actually had to leave them outside the school because they were considered weapons.
Fair enough.
It was a stick that had a curve to it.
I mean, I
And
guess if you made like a sword, I could see them wanting you not to bring that in.
oh no, it well, I mean, if you wanted to call it a sword, but it was literally just like a marking stick that my dad used to mark where to plant trees because we had a tree farm way back when.
Technically, anything can be used as a weapon, though.
Yeah,
That's what she's telling me. Yeah.
I would have to ask some folks, I guess, younger than me, because like I left school in 2007, and all we had were tornado drills, fire drills.
Well, did you want me to answer, or should I just remain silent?
I discounted you and Terry for being foreigners, but please go ahead.
Yeah, well, it wasn't until my high school years, that they started actually doing shooter drills and stuff like that. But they did start doing them when I was in school. Basically, all it is they get you to go as far away from the door and any windows as possible and remain quiet while they run the drill.
You know what? I think they just wanted some quiet. So that guys, shoot a drill. Everyone, shut up.
Yeah, why is it always so early in the morning too? Why does our teacher smell like rubbing alcohol?
But I made the point on Quipper's school shooter is actually the plot to Happy Gilmore.
Real Wade Nation in chat says no, and I'm 2013, so 6 years younger, and no. Did have one. Okay. For me, high school was kind of interesting because there was an opportunity that got canceled, but they were going to have like the like police, local sheriffs, a couple different law enforcement agencies were going to do an active shooter training at my school, and being a part of the drama club, we were going to get to play act as victims, students, try and give them some realism while they're clearing the school. I found out the quickest way to get people to give you some side eye is ask if you can be the shooter. Like, why do you want that? I was like, I don't know. Maybe I want the cops to be prepared when they got to come in here and save my ass from one of you fucks.
Right.
Try and give them some realistic training so that way they can save my ass if need be.
That sounds ludicrous. Why would you? That doesn't make sense at all.
But also, like, there was I think my junior year, they also had a demonstration that was supposed to be like for to keep the kids from drinking and driving, right?
Yeah.
So like middle of the day, they have us all come out to the front parking lot area. They've got a wrecked car set up. They've got a couple of students, a little more than like ketchup, like the fake blood that's really fake looking. And we're supposed to sit there and watch as EMTs and fire department get there, and they got to get the jaws of life to get these kids out of the car and this and that. And there's even a reporter from the local newspaper who came to write about it, because apparently it was a slow news day. And he actually asked me for a quote, and I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." He's like, "So, what did you learn from this, witnessing this demonstration or thing?" It's like, "Well, I learned that you shouldn't drink and drive because literally the ambulance came. The hospital is 4 blocks away, man. 4 blocks, and it took the ambulance how long to get here?" I was like, "That's why you shouldn't drink and drive. Their reaction time sucks." Apparently, I guess that had to get cut. I guess I used too many words or something. He was on a limit. because that did not appear in my local paper.
No, I just thought it was funny how I made these weapons out of like one was a broomstick, and the rest were like marking wood, and the other one was a dowel that I nailed a rope to, and yet there were teenagers with rifles and shotguns in their windows, and this was back in I think it was 86, 87.
I don't remember this myself, but according to my dad, I made the point that they took the Ninja Turtles off TV because they were too violent and replaced it with footage of the Iraq War. Like he's you're right.
Oh, I bet Assassin would love this article. I don't know if I have enough credits left to read it or not. When's the last time I read the Washington Post? Opinion by Michael Gerson. The GOP spin on gun rights is wrong, morally and legally.
Oh, I saw Frosted posted someone saying that the First Amendment is overrated on Discord. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
Oh, I can actually read this one. After a new round of well-armed hate crimes and child murder, the congressional process to pass gun regulations remains the harvesting of low-hanging fruit. The minimalist outcome, if there is an outcome, will be advocated under the stirring slogan, better than nothing. Which would be true. Any kind of agreement would be good for democracy, demonstrating that the creaking machinery of self-government can still turn. But the triumph of legislative incrementalism is unlikely to feel equal to the real-world provocation, the effect of advanced weaponry on small bodies. And it will not answer the lingering question, is the slaughter of innocence the unavoidable price of freedom? That actually does remind me of a meme. And, do I have it on my computer or just on my phone? That's the question. But it's a soldier, dropping a grenade, and there's a question that says, how many children have to die before, we can have gun control? And the soldier dropping the grenade just says, all of them.
Oh, man.
Significant group of Americans believe it is. In a recent CBS YouGov poll, 44% of Republicans agreed that mass shootings are unfortunately something we have to accept in a free country. We wouldn't have to accept it if you guys actually locked up the crazies.
Yeah, but we need the women to procreate.
It is the unfortunately that gets to me. This is a case involving unequally distributed peril. For most observers, such misfortune amounts to reading a depressing newspaper article. For the families involved, it means suffering beyond measure and grief beyond relief. Government cannot take all the risk out of life, but is it permissible to accept the risk of murder on behalf of other people's children? Is it moral to make our peace with such evident evil? Okay, is Assassin's ear smoking yet? I haven't had a chance to read the chat.
I think so.
Oh, somebody's going to have a heart stroke tonight.
That's for sure.
Any consideration of gun regulation in the United States immediately involves a debate about our fundamental law. Through most of American history, the prefatory clause of the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, determined the meaning of the operative clause, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This made sense in a country where the entire western frontier was ragged and bloody with danger. Yeah. Every able-bodied man was expected to possess a useful weapon to fight for the security of his state. You mean like killing the Indians and stuff, right, white man?
Shh, hate facts.
And at least part of the reason to stay armed was that many people feared and opposed the accumulation of federal power. A lot of people still do. The Virginia Constitution made this connection explicit, saying that a well-regulated militia composed of the body of the people trained to arms is the proper, natural, and safe defense of a free state. That standing armies in times of peace should be avoided as dangerous to liberty, and that in all cases the military should be under strict subordination to and governed by the civil power. The conservative legal revolution of the past few decades has sought to decouple the two clauses of the Second Amendment. The prefatory clause has been dismissed as but one application of the operative clause, which establishes an individual right of gun ownership for purposes of self-defense. Some have called this a conservative application of the evolving Constitution. But since District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008, the Supreme Court has upheld gun ownership as a right, not just as a precondition for the common defense. Well, I mean, how do you separate a right and a precondition for the common defense? I don't see how you split that hair.
Put it on the left.
Heller overturned D.C.'s prohibition of nearly all handguns, affirming these as the weapon of choice for Americans engaged in self-defense. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a handgun for self-defense, but I wouldn't want only a handgun for self-defense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have a toaster.
I want claymores on a Roomba. That's what I want.
That'd be sweet.
I want a pressure plate that when they step on it, a giant blade swings down and cuts them in half.
Ooh, I like it.
But the ruling made clear that the Second Amendment does not create an absolute right to gun ownership. It is still permissible, Heller states, to restrict the gun rights of felons and the mentally ill. It is still allowable to prohibit the carrying of firearms in government buildings and schools. And well, how well did that last part work out? It is still lawful to ban particularly dangerous and unusual weapons. Sorry, no grenade launchers or guided missiles.
Boo.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
You're no fun.
And it is worth noting that since Heller, lower courts have generally upheld the gun restrictions they have considered. This means that one of the main pro-gun arguments, that reasonable gun restrictions violate sacred natural rights, is somewhat on the far side of laughable ignorance. The right to keep and bear arms does not mean the right of 18-year-olds to buy assault rifles. Oh, they have this lit up in blue, so if I click this, does it define an assault rifle for me? I wonder. No, it takes me to another opinion piece. Fuck you.
Oh, you poor delusional bastard.
Many Republicans seem intent on combining the stability and wisdom of teenagers with military-grade firepower. So you're trying to dunk on the Republicans for this. How do you feel about 18-year-olds joining the military and being given military-grade firepower because they're in the fucking military? I'm sorry, but to me, either you're an adult or you're not. This doling out rights piecemeal is bullshit. Either an 18-year-old has the right to smoke, drink, fuck, join the military, vote for president, and all that other good shit, or they don't.
I'm actually okay with two age of consents. I do think it's okay for the sexual age of consent to be a couple years lower than the rest of it. Like, you're not going to stop teenagers fucking. So just
Well, no. I'm saying like an 18-year-old can fuck somebody who's 20 years their senior.
Yeah, no, but like, I'm fine with saying the legal age of consent for sex is 18, for instance. The legal age of consent for everything else, like signing contracts and gun ownership, and everything else that you need to be an adult to do, that can be 21. I don't have a problem with separating the two because really, people.
I'm trying to
teenagers
remember
are gonna have sex.
when do they bump the age up to 21 for? It's just handguns, isn't it?
I don't know.
Again, the assassin's probably just screaming in chat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just asked him to settle down while laughing about it.
Because
Right.
in Australia, the legal age of consent for sex is 16. For everything else, it's 18. So you want to gamble, you got to be 18. You want to drink, got to be 18. If
Well,
you want to
see-
have sex, 16.
With Australia, at least you've got more consistency there. With like the drinking and gambling and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
See, an 18-year-old can walk into a casino here in Oklahoma. They can gamble all their money away to their heart's content, but they can't drink a beer while they're doing it. Like, oh, well, the brain's not fully developed until 25. It's like, okay, so are we shifting the age majority to when the brain is fully developed? I mean, are we going to raise everything up to 25? You can't join the military. You can't take out a student loan. You can't, because they'll point to like, oh, well, insurance companies won't, let you rent a car until you're 25 because, like, yeah, well, they're not the government. That's a company.
All right, Assassin, I'm getting worried about your blood pressure, bud.
I knew I'd piss somebody off tonight. It's just a matter of finding the right button. Oh yeah, okay. So we read that paragraph. Only 3 more to go, Assassin. We're almost done.
Oh my gosh! Trying to kill him.
This issue is also pregnant with paradox. For years, judicial conservatives have tried to reposition the Second Amendment as protecting an individual right to gun ownership. But now some MAGA Republicans want to return to the prefatory clause with a twist, just like M. Night Shyamalan. Like some
They were already dead.
Like some Jeffersonians, they fear concentrated federal power as a threat to liberty. But what does that mean when Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene refers to the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol as a 1776 moment, or embraces the Second Amendment as permission for insurrectionary violence? Does this indicate that the future targets in a MAGA war against tyranny might be police officers and tax collectors, soldiers and FBI agents? Well, I'll tell you, 3 out of those 4, I'd have a hard time disagreeing with. Merely playing with such ideas is an invitation to the unstable. It is past time for Republican politicians to embrace some risk in the cause of life and end their dance with death. Opinion by Michael Gerson. In short, yes.
I am fine reading what you wrote. Yeah, I'm reading what you wrote, but it's just when you get all caps lock in certain words and repeat the same theme over a few times, I get a little worried about you, bud. That's all. It's not, as I always say, text ain't always the easiest to interpret, but better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Assassin, off the top of your head, do you know when they made the buying? It's handguns, right? You got to be 21 to buy. When do they change that up? Because I'm sure at some point it was across the board. You're 18, you're an adult, and then they started changing it. Change it here, change it there. I was pissed off when they raised the smoking age to 21. I was like, so you're telling me an 18-year-old kid, because they were still in Afghanistan when they raised that age. I was like, you're telling me an 18-year-old kid can join the military, get shipped off to Afghanistan, get shot at, this, that, and whatever, but he can't have a smoke to calm his nerves as he's trying to avoid car bombs and sniper fire? Really? So But yeah, there used to be a time when you were just, one day you were a kid, the next day you were an adult. And now it's, like I said, just piecemeal. Oh, you can vote at 18. You can join the military at 18. You can screw whoever you want at 18 as long as they're 18 or older. Oh, you want to drink? You got to wait another 3 years for that. Sorry. Oh, you want to buy a handgun? Yeah, 18. Yeah, too young. Nope, sorry. You're not responsible enough. The Hughes Amendment, also 1986. That wouldn't surprise me. They got to get rid of all the fun stuff before I was even born.
Well, naturally,
That's how it works.
no fun allowed.
And what was really funny, what was really scary to me, I should say, was when they changed that, because it was like it wasn't even like its own standalone law. It was buried in some other. It's like a food and drug amendment or something like that, and some other bill that Trump signed. But when people found out about it, I was expecting like righteous fury and anger, and most people were like, "Oh fuck it, I'm already in my 30s. I don't care." It's like, no, you should care, because it's small potatoes right now. It's stuff that doesn't affect you right now. But why do they keep going? Obamacare made it to where you can be on your parents' insurance until 26. So we've already at least got 26 as an age where you're still a child in the government's eyes.
Mm.
What if you're 25 and they said, okay, guess what? You've been smoking for 7 years legally? Cool. You can't smoke again for another year without breaking the law.
There have been a couple policies that I've seen that have altered that number. There are a couple that cover up until the age of 32.
For what?
Being on your parents' policy.
Yeah, I didn't see much sense in a bump stock either, and I didn't understand why they were getting in such a brouhaha over banning it. And I gotta say, man, I still got questions about Vegas. Does anybody know, like, the full story on that? Can anybody sit here and explain it to me, like I'm like I've never heard of it before, and give me all the details?
I believe you'll find everything neatly piled underneath that rug over there.
Or do I gotta wait for another Jinx tweet before I start getting some facts about Vegas? If you guys aren't following Crack Connoisseur on Twitter, you should be. He's got some bangers. There's one actually today. It was he retweeted it because of some of his tweets. Man, people will be like, "Hey man, can you bring that one back?" I can't find it. That was a good one. And it was like Joe Biden standing up at a podium talking about, like, imagine if the United States was openly like interfering with other countries' elections, and the rest of the world knew about it. And he just, he switches over to like the Wikipedia page of like the CIA and just starts going down the list of all the countries they fucked with in the past 80 years. Bump stocks fall into the salami slice method to take a okay. Yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, it's just showing like Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein and like all the other regimes that have been toppled. and got a fat beat behind it too. He picked some decent songs to go along with the video. The one he did have about like Las Vegas. Do you guys know who Dan Bilzerian is?
Name sounds familiar.
He's an Instagram douche.
Oh.
But I've only ever listened to him talk once because he was on Rogan's podcast. I think he was on there one time. But this is a guy who supposedly made it through Navy SEAL training twice, got rich playing on online poker, which no, he didn't. His dad was rich. That explains why I never heard of him. But yeah, apparently he was at that music festival in Vegas during the shooting, and he was like running up to cops, like asking them to give me a gun. And they're like, get the fuck away from me, you psycho! There's somebody shooting at us. But yeah, like I still got questions about that. So I mean, I find it hard to believe that the only thing to come about from Vegas is, oh, they banned bump stocks, and like everyone just like, okay, well I guess that's it then. We're just moving on.
Right.
Like hundreds of people were shot, like tens of people were killed. We don't know anything about this dude's motivation. Like, how fast did they know about that fucking Buffalo kid? They knew his shit immediately. They had a manifesto, which they started arguing about whether or not to call it a manifesto.
Is it a person-manifesto because they don't want to assign gender?
I mean, that Tulsa shooter last week, they knew about him within a day. Vegas? Oh man. So, if anything, I think that's a good reason to have guns. Somebody's going to shoot at you, you should be able to shoot back.
Can't argue with that.
And especially if Dan Bilzerian's in the crowd, and he asks you for a gun, I mean, that manifesto was mostly plagiarized from the New Zealand killer with a few adjustments. Okay, so he was a lazy 18-year-old kid who pinched somebody else's work.
No need to reinvent the wheel. If the perfect manifesto has already been written, just copy paste.
Like every time the word manifesto is brought up, it reminds me we still haven't done anything with the Unabomber, Johnny.
I was thinking about that earlier too.
I think Travis linked us like an audio version.
I have the audiobook.
That's good. I can sit there and listen to that while I'm sitting at the hospital with Nana Camel. And nurses come in. Oh, what are you listening to? Ted Kaczynski. Who? I'm like, oh, you're in for a treat.
The Industrial Revolution was a mistake.
I mean, was he wrong, though? Don't get me wrong. I love internet porn. But how much of this do we really need? They keep making new porn, too. Nobody's ever going to watch all of it. Why do you keep making new stuff? That's my parting thought right there, Della.
Oh, we still got time. I hit the wrong button earlier. I hit the wrong button earlier, that's all. We still got like 15 minutes if you want.
I would like to know, like, has Michael Gerson ever fired a gun? And if he has, I want to see the groupings on his targets.
Have half of the people who bitch about this stuff have ever fired a gun?
I've never hired a gun, so I've never had to fire one. It's never come up.
Mm-hmm.
No, it means nothing about what the Buffalo Killer wrote was sincere. He is painted as right-wing when he said he is a leftist authoritarian. The media is selling a false narrative. Well,
no.
I mean,
Media wouldn't do that.
Color me shocked.
Right?
the press lying to us? Pshaw.
You, sir, are living in a fantasy land.
Seriously though, I want someone to take Michael Gerson to a range, put a gun in his hand, and make him, shoot at a target, and then show the world what that grouping looks like. Just for my own edification, just for my shits and giggles, right? It's not going to prove anything. It's not going to change anybody's mind. But I'm willing to bet you the reason why he doesn't want anybody else to have a gun is because he's probably shit with a gun.
I don't want to look bad.
And like I don't want to be one of those people who's like, like Tim Pool with the whole Civil War bullshit. But if they actually try to push this and somehow manage, I mean, it's not gonna pass, obviously. I don't think Joe Manchin's gonna vote for, banning assault weapons and whatnot. But say they do. All right, now you got to send people out with guns to go collect those guns, right? That's not going to end well. That is not going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that to happen. Plenty of things on the table to discuss that could solve a lot of our problems with guns in this country that don't involve taking away the guns.
I think you should take away the schools. Guaranteed. Get rid of school shootings immediately.
That's one way to deal about it.
They'll talk. How often do they actually bring up mental health when they're talking about gun crime?
Why would they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Republicans will bring it up because they don't want guns getting grabbed. Rightfully so.
Those evil monsters.
But then, when they do have control of Congress and stuff, they don't do shit for mental health. That's why I'm not a Republican. They'll talk a good game, and then they get in there and they do fuck all.
Fair.
Oh, we're going to lower your taxes. The deficit's out of control. I'm like, all right, well, taxes did get lowered, but you guys didn't do fuck all about the deficit. You're still spending like crazy. Now you just got less revenue coming in. Yeah, I mean, probably. More than likely, yes. Since state schools are nothing but brainwashing centers now anyway, doing away with them would be a good idea. Yeah.
I think I might technically count as a Republican because I don't think the Queen has any real reason to be the head of state for Australia. So I guess that would technically make me a Republican because I think that we should get rid of her.
I mean, first you got to get her off your money, right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with getting her off the money. I don't think she should have anything to do with Australia.
I did love that. I used that joke because of a episode of House. He was giving Chase shit about being Australian.
Yeah.
Which
I'm 100% on board with getting her off the money. No hesitation.
I mean, now Terry, have you ever heard of the actor Jesse Spencer?
No.
No. Okay, he's the guy that played Chase on House. If you ever watched House.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, he's after House he moved on. He's a show Chicago Fire because Dick Wolf decided to escape New York and he invaded Chicago.
I just like that name, Dick Wolf.
It's a strong name, yeah. But no, he played what was Chase's first name? I forget.
Robert.
Oh, that's right, Robert. Yes. Thank you.
Same as his dad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, he plays Dr. Robert Chase, and he's an Australian. The character Robert Chase is Australian because the actor Jesse Spencer couldn't do an American accent.
Ah.
And like I think Monkey and I think was that when Undoomed was on. they were talking about House and Hugh Lowry and Lori. Yes.
Laurie.
Well, dude, I fuck it up from time to time. I'll say Lori, and then I'll say, nah, that doesn't sound right. Lowry. No?
No,
Lori?
Hugh Laurie.
But Hugh Laurie did such a good job playing a jackhole as House. I refused to watch the show because I wanted to punch him in the face each episode I sat through. How did you make it through this stream, sir? Because
I loved how much of an asshole his character was. I watched because of that.
I mean, I liked the show. I liked Hugh Laurie. I like the rest of the cast. Like I've seen Omar Epps in a ton of shit growing up. But I did kind of like try and keep it quiet that I liked the show, because I'd have friends who would recommend. It was like that South Park episode where everyone's like, recommending that Cartman would like Family Guy. And so he decides to get it, taken off the air. But yeah, like I had friends, they're like, "Oh man, I bet you'd like that show House. He's an asshole just like you." Oh, fuck you too, then.
Play a little game called Hide and Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. I do like you, Laurie, but I've just never watched House.
I mean, it's pretty much Sherlock Holmes in a hospital, except he's an even bigger asshole.
And an addict to Vicodin.
I remember.
To be clear, I haven't actually watched any episodes of House. I've just watched a bunch of clips on YouTube.
I think I've watched Undoomed videos, which is my entire knowledge of House. Because he usually puts clips in his videos.
Is that? Tell me you've seen Stargate at least.
Nope.
Oh man, you're missing out.
I've seen it on TV and just clicked to a different channel.
Yeah, I've seen Undoomed videos.
SG-1 was such a good show.
Fair enough. It's just not for me.
That was there was a meme I saw. I think I shared it on a stream, but it was the difference between like Star Trek and Stargate. You got like Picard and all them like, oh, well, we can't. The Prime Directive says we can't interfere, and then you've got Stargate at the bottom of the of the screen. It's the SG-1 unit's like, your gods are all false. Here, take these guns. But
I don't know why. I never really watched much of those TV shows. I think by the time House was like a big deal, I'd given up on TV. I was kind of video games and YouTube at that point.
What I thought was interesting is like going back and watch, because I still have not finished House. I think I skipped out at like the end of season 6. I think it went like 8 seasons, which probably at least for me it was 2 seasons too long. But going back and seeing like catching some old episodes here and there, it's like, oh shit, that guy was like they had the dude from Eurotrip, Scotty. He was in one of the like first season's episodes or something.
I kind of had that with Seinfeld, where after Bryan Cranston made it big with Malcolm in the Middle, I was like watching Seinfeld. I was like, oh my god, that's the guy. That's Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. And then obviously he went on to do Breaking Bad, but I never really got into that show.
See, I never really got into Malcolm in the Middle, but I did like Breaking Bad.
I prefer comedies to serious stuff. So Malcolm in the Middle was far more my speed.
Well, for me, Breaking Bad was kind of a dark comedy in a lot of the episodes.
I think I saw 1 or 2 episodes and it just did not grab my attention at all.
But like I had to explain, like, because Nana Camel, she likes watching like the rerun shows and whatnot. Because they got a bunch of different channels where they've got like the same shows in syndication. Like I think with like Chicago Fire and Chicago PD, those are like 5 different channels right now. And that's not even counting the one that they actually originally aired on, because I think that's like an NBC show. But she likes that show, The Closer, and one of the actors from that, he was on Breaking Bad. He pops up in a bunch of stuff. Dude named Raymond Cruz. And it's like he's either a gangbanger or like a cop or / military. One of the two. It's like you never see that dude just playing like a single dad or something like that, He's either covered in like gang tattoos or he's a cop busting down a door. I had people like that who put their boot on my neck and all the time in the army. Those people have I have a special hate for.
Fair enough.
Yeah. See, I when I was a young man, I was self-aware enough to know that if I joined the military, I was probably going to end up in Leavenworth.
You know that episode of The Simpsons? I think it had Kiefer Sutherland in it, where he was either he was sending everyone to frontline infantry.
No, I don't remember that.
Nope.
It's like when they did the credits, he's just like, as soon as it would pop up, frontline infantry.
Oh yeah. I think I do vaguely. Oh no, I'm thinking of Homer. He was cutting people from the team. No, different episode.
See, the only I don't recall that at all. I do recall the episode of Futurama where they joined the army.
Mm-hmm.
Only if war were declared. Silence off. What's that mean? War were declared.
Futurama is a show I wish I'd gotten more into. Like every time I watched it, I liked it, but I never actually sat down and watched it consistently. So I only saw like episodes here and there.
I think that was like the crossover for me. It's like when Futurama first aired, I think that's when I started drifting away from The Simpsons. I watched Futurama, and then moved on to Family Guy, and then Family Guy wore thin on me pretty quick.
Yeah, it does.
Like South Park, that lasted. Oh, I probably missed the first few seasons at least. Let's say I made it from like probably about season 4 or 5 to when did PC Principal come in? Was it 20?
Don't know.
Give or take.
Yeah, South Park, that had a good like 15-year run for me.
Yeah. I remember my brother was absolutely furious when you know how they did the whole cliffhanger, who is Eric Cartman's father? They were supposed to like reveal it on the first episode of the new season, and instead it was Terrence and Phillip asses on fire. He was furious. He was like, they can't do this. And it's like, they were supposed to tell me who the like, dude, it's a TV show. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon TV show. And then it turned out that his mom was his dad.
Yeah. Because she's a hermaphrodite.
And his dad had been a dirty whore the whole time.
All right. Well, it is getting to that time, guys. We are at the 2-hour mark here, pretty much. So I'm gonna go around and ask for parting thoughts. And as usual, I'll start with Terry. What you got for us, bud?
Hashtag chicken burger.
Camel, your rebuttal.
Buy guns. Lots of guns. And then tell Terry how wrong he is. With his chicken burger comment.
Good rebuttal, sir. And Johnny, what you got for us, bud?
Send all cabbage to 123 Australia Way and
422 Wally Way.
That sounds like a waste of postage, but you do you, sir. All right, chat. I am gonna thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us, no matter how little time you may or may not have joined us. And to anyone who watches in the future, I thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Do join us tomorrow night when Skep Talk is hosting. And until then, well, that's really all I got to say now. Fuck, it's so much easier than it used to be for me. Fuck. Yeah. Don't know who will be hosting next Monday, but until Quiz gets on a different schedule, we'll figure it out from as we go. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys when I see you. Otherwise, have a good one, and the zoo is closed, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.